right now.
Hey.
Boom. Live and the direct in the tube with Frank. Frank, it's always a great honor for me to receive you here. We have done a lot together. We have still a long way to go.
Yes.
And after that, I plan on bringing you back on other stuff because I just like also sitting here with you in exchange with you. I feel like I can be myself all the time. I don't need to choose the word I use or like it's not the goal also on YouTube. I don't come here to put out maybe put out a show, but it's not something fake. You know, we are who we are, and
that's it.
What did you say? Brothers of light.
Brothers in the light. That's right.
Brothers in the light. Brothers in the light. That's it.
Yeah.
So Frank, today we're you look great. How are you?
Oh, well, yeah. This is another grand rising. Yeah. Like I was telling you, just been in the garden. This is a fun time of year just to get out and just sit with the earth and just plant seeds and, tend to take care of the little baby plants. And it's
and it's healthy too. It's touching the earth. And I like to put my hands in the dirt all the time. As a kid and as an adult, now I play with plants. So. So in the English book, I think we are at chaste, the chase and the chaste. How do you say it? Chaste. Mm-hmm. The chase and the chaste.
Right.
Okay. La chasse et la chaste en français. Same words, just pronounced differently. Right. Anyway, so I'll let you start with this, and I'll go on with the French after. We should be able to do a good 4 today, I think.
Yeah.
So, without any further comments or intro or whatever words from me, it's on ya.
Yeah, here we go. The chase and chaste. Females on this planet have become so used to being chased rather than chase themselves, to the extent that most have completely forgotten how to chase. In all Vedic tales, even the goddesses, like Parvati, concentrated on chasing rather than being chased. Parvati chased Shiv, which is the more sensible thing to do, no matter how one looks at it. One wants to evolve or have a better time, or have a more interesting existence, or have bliss. Females who settle for those who chase them cannot/do not ever end up on the bliss side. It is no coincidence that the word chaste is connected to chase. Only a female chasing the higher and divine can truly be chaste. Whether one is a male or female, one will have to chase the higher and divine, as higher and divine is the only gateway for one to evolve.
So la chasse et la chaste, les femmes de cette planète sont devenues tellement habituées à être chassées, plutôt que de chasser par elles-mêmes, au point où la plupart ont complètement oublié comment chasser. Dans tous les récits védiques, même les déesses comme Parvati, se concentraient sur chasser plutôt que d'être chassées. Parvati chassait Shiv, ce qui est la chose la plus sensible à faire. Peu importe comment on y regarde, une personne souhaite évoluer ou passer de meilleurs moments ou avoir une existence plus intéressante ou avoir de la béatitude. Les femmes qui se tiennent à ceux qui les chassent ne peuvent pas finir être dans le camp de la béatitude. Ce n'est pas une coïncidence que le mot chaste soit connecté à chasse. Seulement une femme qui chasse le supérieur divin peut être vraiment chaste. Qu'un être soit un homme ou une femme, cet être devra chasser le supérieur et divin, comme le supérieur et divin est la seule porte vers l'évolution. What else will lead you to evolve if it's not love, if it's not higher and divine, if it's not something higher than you? What, do you think you're going to evolve by going lower? Like, for sure not. But I think it's clear to many of us that to evolve, but it's because when we look up at the work that needs to be done, also, it's a bit scary. Sometimes we have a huge mountain in front of us to conquer, to change our own ways,
Right.
our habits. Often it's connected to habits and stuff, and that's one of them to chase. I think it's really becoming like we think that we must uh, chase other beings, and in order to mate together or stuff. And when honestly, if you chase higher and divine, anything that you want in your life will come. It will come in due time when you're
Oh, yeah.
ready for the experience. And if you're alone, but you're never alone. You're never alone. It's not because you're single that you have no partner, or you're not chasing, or you shouldn't feel lonely. You're always with higher and divine.
Right.
Some of us don't really recognize it. Some of us feels it more than others on a deeper level, and that permit them to be more with themselves than focusing on chasing. That's what I'm saying. So yeah, I think there's great benefits in chasing higher and divine in your
Yes.
life, and the benefits are there. So no matter what you're looking for in order to evolve, it's going to be there, and you don't need to worry. Like the other day, someone asked me in the comment, and that came back a few times. I had that question: is what do we do to start serving higher and divine? Like,
Oh, yeah.
yeah, me and PT have approached that topic many of times.
Right.
Large up to PT for showing up the other day too.
Oh, yeah. That was a
He
great talk.
always shows up. It's not a matter if she's gonna show up or not. He always shows up.
Yeah.
But he's always it's his laugh also. His laugh gets me all the time.
I know.
Oh my God, he's funny. He's
It's
funny. He makes me laugh. But yeah, what I was saying, I went on PT. I had something else to tell you.
Well, serving higher and divine.
Serving higher and divine. That's it. Someone sent me a question. What do we do? I answered. I said I might bring the topic back with PT because it's a great topic. So many of us are like often also frozen by the idea of doing the divine work.
Right.
But
Yeah.
I think it's the start of this journey is very easy. It's work on yourself. Work on yourself. It's you want to reach a higher and divine state. It's all within you, but it's the work sometimes that could be because we have so many distractions in front of us also.
Yeah.
And that is the point of distracting you, is you not reaching higher and divine.
Oh, yeah.
And the higher and divine state of mind and everything. Like you should, like my wife said the other day, you should walk with Jesus beside you. Like I know, and the word Jesus is probably the word that will remain. And I have nothing against the word Jesus, because when you look at it, it's literally you. It should be you. It should be me. It should be all of us, because it's missing an I. But when you put an I in the word Jesus, it becomes je suis, I am. It's nothing's random. Nothing's random here on earth. We cannot think that this is a random thing. It's not.
Right.
But anyway, so the chase for higher and divine, definitely, Frank, I could speak about that for hours.
Yeah.
And let you go on with your opinion on this, because I'm sure you have a very divine one also.
Yes. This is a great P-log. I'll just touch on a couple things before we really get into this. Like P says, the first step in working toward to be able to serve higher and divine is just taking care of the body. That is the first. That's the first obligation, responsibility that we all have. Take care of the body. So that means, like go through the steps and learn like how to take care of your physical health, as far as like, how are you going to feed yourself? And the Vedic system has a lot of things to say on, based on your particular elemental makeup, like what is the best, fuel for your body? What is the best way for each of us as individuals? Which that's another thing that I really like about the Vedic thing. It's very customized to the individual, whether it goes to your birth chart or your elemental makeup, making your constitution, that's going to shed light on, what is the right type of diet for you, and what's the other type of, lifestyle habits that is going to best suit your model that you have been given by divine in this life. So that's the first step. And then, eating well, taking care of your fitness, and then doing the practices of centering yourself. Because once you do all that and you have a solid foundation, then you are reliable. Then you can, if divine calls on you to do something, you're ready, you're in good health, you are stable, you're balanced. Because like one of the things that I heard P or some other people talking about was like, I think it was P. It was like, it's not easy to serve or be of service if you're sick or if you're unwell or if you're unstable. Like divine might look at you and be like, they have a willingness, but like they're not ready yet, because like, what if I call on them to do something, but then like they're unable to? So you want to make yourself you want to prepare yourself, your own vessel, in the best way possible, so that you're ready for action at any moment. Like this is a
I fucking love this.
Yeah, it's great, isn't it? I like P's approach because he does have like a military background. He grew up, his dad was in the Air Force, and he grew up on different like military bases in his youth. And so he does have this background of being able to like have a very like militaristic, as far as like, okay, like be ready at all times, and have that mentality of being a soldier, divine's army, and being ready to like do the task that is needed, in which, we have to be like focused and on point and disciplined with ourselves and our actions, our lifestyle, all that kind of stuff. And then, so that's what I was going to touch on as far as being of service. And then, walk with Jesus. Like when you go back to the Jupiter or the Greek thing, Zeus is a very similar word to Jesus. Jesus in Spanish is Zeus, Jupiter, Jesus, and that relates to Jupiter is like the minister or the priest of like the heavenly beings. So he's the one who like is like, you live like this, you take these actions, and this is going to keep you in alignment with divine, alignment with God, and things like that. So, walk with that wisdom, right? I mean, that's just what came to me when you were saying it. So walk with that way of life of being in touch with God, in touch with divine, doing things that are going to be, respectful and reverent toward nature, the elements, divine, your own self and spirit to others and all that. So, and now we get to the chase and chased. This is a really cool perspective that P shares here, because it is very much the opposite of the game that we have been taught to play. In this time is like, how do you, like they show examples and in movies and all the shows and things like that, like how do you get a partner? How do you get a girl? You have to do all these kind of things to kind of do that, that courting thing, where you're constantly doing something to try
I think there's something big happening behind the
I know. You can probably hear all that. I live close to there's a volunteer fire station down the street, so there must be something happening. There's some big decisions that have been made this morning.
Sound the alarm.
I know. But this, so I mean, just to say like these things are saying this is important, like so listen to this thing that P is saying. And like P says at the bottom, whether you're male or female, we have to chase the divine, right? We have to make ourselves suitable. We have to make ourselves, we have to prepare ourselves for something higher, and actually seek that and go after it. Whereas what society and everything has told us is to just chase the mundane, chase what is visually appealing, that it might look good, but what is it really when you get underneath the surface of those looks? When you open up the book and maybe the cover looks good, but what's the content on the inside, And so we know the content of this book is like actually showing us things that are lasting in time. They're not going to be changed. They are connected to like how the multiverse functions and how nature functions. And so as far as like the male and female dynamic, the Vedic cosmology and the Vedic way is saying that what males do is they seek higher and divine. Females also do that, but if they want to partner with a male, then they look and they see like which male is, going to be worthy and help me on my path to be able to continue that chase for divine. Because like a way that we can kind of simplify and boil it down is like the male will, basically establish standards for himself and certain boundaries, like, okay, I'm going to live this way. I'm going to eat this way. I'm going to keep my house this way. I'm going to live my life in a certain way that's going to have good boundaries. Like that's the ideal kind of thing, right? And then the female, based on what she sees to select, she's going to, the way to do it properly is to select the one that's going to help her continue her own path of seeking divine and, doing that kind of thing. So it's,
but I if I can,
yeah.
I think men in this world have lost the sense of what it is to be a man. Like, I don't know, but to me, it's clear that, like you said, yes, you should offer some kind of security and safety to a woman, definitely. And it's not by being weak and being like you should. The male should be very, very strong in the unit, definitely. That's what I embody here, and Kim always told me she feels safe and I'm her lighthouse and stuff. And that's what and I have no intention to vanish and to go anywhere else, So that part or chasing anything, I know what because the thing is, I know what I need to chase, higher and divine.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
What else am I gonna chase?
Right.
If it's not so. Once your focus is on chasing higher and divine and establishing a trust relationship also with higher and divine, because like you said, if you don't take care of yourself, if you don't have energy, I wouldn't be here today. If I wouldn't be like in good shape, and if I would be sick, I wouldn't be in front of the screen.
Right.
Well, I might have little pains here and there, but that's nothing to keep a good man down.
Right.
Cannot keep a good man down.
Right.
So,
yeah.
Of course, when you're ready to dance, you have to dance. That's the divine thing, and that's what it is also to be called for this great work. You get a show also that you can be trusted, that when you're called to dance, you go up and you jump and dance.
Right.
And dance with Iron Divine, not dance with all the beings of the earth and chasing all kinds of stuff. No. I think it's very clear to me what the chase is all about.
Yes.
Yeah. And to PT also, definitely.
Right.
Next is a special.
That's it.
That's a good one. Special.
Yeah, this is definitely a good one. Special. My cat, dog, and pet is special. My boyfriend is special. Our connection is special. What is special, one asks, other than they exist and have limited consciousness? No answer except it is their choice. So whatever they choose is special because they are so special. They are not just a depressed being feeling like a prisoner of circumstance all the time. They are special. And by default, all occasions they are involved in are special, not just a boring, meaningless, unfractal disaster. There are some who ask me to see how everyone is special, including them, of course, not just me. Another roundabout way of aiming at equality, which is not the reality. What that special is, they can't themselves put their finger on. The word is now in hyper overuse. Any gremlin-y idiosyncrasy or inclination towards self-torture or bad habits or brattiness or idiocy is termed as special. How are they different from all the half-dead, mind-programmed, hell-bound zombies here? Can they even inhabit the heart of their own sun? Most won't even know what that is or where to begin, but they are all special. In time, before the current age of utter stupidity, where mere existence, while going on a downward spiral, is special, beings used to develop their soul through penance and devotion to divine, gaining many real powers in the process. Only then did they come to be known as a rishi, seer, or someone special.
I was having a laugh here and there because it's
I know, right?
it is what it is.
Yes,
That's
yes.
it. Special, spécial, spécial, c'est la même affaire. Spécial. Mon chat, chien, animal domestique est spécial. Mon petit copain est spécial. Notre connexion est spéciale. Qu'est-ce qui est spécial, demande-t-on, autre que le fait qu'ils existent et ont une conscience limitée? Pas de réponse, sauf que c'est leur choix. Donc, tout ce qu'ils choisissent est spécial. Parce qu'ils sont spéciaux. Ils ne sont pas juste des êtres déprimés qui se sentent comme des prisonniers de circonstances. En tout instant, ils sont spéciaux. Et par défaut, toutes les occasions dans lesquelles ils sont impliqués sont spéciales. Pas juste un désastre ennuyeux, non fractal, insignifiant. Il y en a certains qui me demandent de voir comment tout le monde est spécial, les incluant bien sûr, pas juste moi. Encore une manière détournée de chercher l'égalité, ce qui n'est pas la réalité. Ce que ce spécial est, ils ne peuvent pas mettre le doigt dessus. Le mot est maintenant en usage hyper excessif. Toute idiosyncrasie de gremlin ou inclination vers la torture du soi ou mauvaise habitude ou attitude de sale gosse ou idiotie est appelée spéciale. Comment soit-il différent de tous les zombies programmés à moitié morts coincés en enfer ici? I like this. Hold on, I gotta repeat it. Comment sont-ils différents de tous les zombies programmés à moitié morts coincés en enfer ici? Est-ce qu'ils peuvent au moins habiter le cœur de leur propre soleil? La plupart ne sauront même pas ce que c'est ou par où commencer. Mais ils sont tous spéciaux. À l'époque, avant l'âge actuel de la stupidité absolue, hold on, I gotta repeat this.
Mm-hmm.
À l'époque, avant l'âge actuel de la stupidité absolue, où une simple existence allant dans une spirale descendante est spéciale, les êtres avaient pour habitude de développer leurs âmes à travers la pénitence et la dévotion envers le divin, obtenant beaucoup de vrais pouvoirs dans le processus. Seulement à ce moment, là, il venait à être reconnu comme un Raishi, un sage, ou comme quelqu'un de spécial. But yeah, we have the habit of calling everything we get involved in, every stuff that happened in our life so special. When it's like a series of boring events and boredom and then eternal freaking depression. And because you are in a deep, if you're not loving something for the world, like you have been gifted with something, you should bring that gift to the world. And the gift's not for you, it's for the others. So don't expect that you're here to give. You're not here to worry about receiving. You're here to give. So start giving. Start giving. Give. You know, that's my spirit all the time. It's to give and to give my whole heart and my whole love and to end up at one point as a special being, maybe in my life.
Right.
I will end up special at one point. But for now, I still have a lot of work to do. Before I call myself special, I ain't nowhere near that kind of a spirit yet. But eventually, if I do enough work, if I take care of myself to a point where I can have clarity and enough clarity to speak words of love and abundance,
Yeah.
way to go. But yeah, definitely, no one is really special here, stuck in depression and stuck in that Babylonian state of programming zombie robot that we are, because unless you change your perspective, and it's really that, it's really a change of perspective you need, you will stay asleep. You will stay asleep and you will think like pretty much everyone around you, and there's nothing very special about that, being a zombie walking dead. So you want to bring yourself feel special, first of all, not to the eyes of others, but if there's one place where I can say I feel special, is maybe when I'm under the sun. You know, when I have the sun rays shining on me and I feel that divine communication or divine presence within me, outside of me, then yeah, maybe I feel a little special there. But if I go with my program ways, or if I go back, like also we're just trying to clear that trauma, heal that trauma. You got to know what you're healing. You know, if you go into a healing process to become special, maybe one day, then you have to know what you're healing. So anyway, that's very important to know the trauma. You know what kind of trauma collectively we went through, and you personally, and that might help you one day to become special. But yes, Frank, give me your opinion on being special.
Yeah. Yeah, like P points out that it's like P has this track, it's called I don't know if this is the name of it, but he has a kind of a chorus that he repeats, and he says the world is all upside down, you know. So the lowly have been positioned at the top, and that is like the examples that we've been given to say, I want to be like this, or I want to be like that. What is in the movies? What is in the music videos? What is all these sirens going again?
Yeah, I hear it. Okay, you could.
Yeah,
we're here on the Truman Show, so yes, sound the alarm.
Sound the alarm.
For sure.
Exactly. Listen to these words.
Let the people know.
Exactly. So the thing that has been shown to be like set as the example is actually all the stuff that P's talking about. He's like, special has been overused, and all the examples that have been given the illusion of the quality special is what? It's beings who have an inclination towards self-torture, beings who have bad habits, beings who express brattiness, beings who express idiocy. that is what has been shown as special. But actually, what is special when you get down to it? It's actually having more connection with nature, having an intelligence that relates to the systems and the patterns of nature. The phi ratio is built within our own DNA, but do we have access to it? Because you actually start getting closer to that divine intelligence the more that we work on centering ourselves, the more that we work on, continually each day coming back to the center, expressing our gratitude to the earth, to the elements, to divine, to the stars, everything in nature, for being this template through which we can have a transcendental experience. We can start actually working on expanding our consciousness, becoming more connected to the thing that is beyond what we can actually see with our physical eyes. The more that we can start getting closer to that, then real magic starts to open up, and that is special. Like whenever you start to notice the synchronicities happening in your life and with nature and with the skies start to open up, and like you start noticing really beautiful phenomena and events that many people may just be asleep to, every day. Sometimes it's like all it is a matter of walking outside and looking up, and you will see some very beautiful things. Maybe it'll be a sunbow, maybe it'll be some clouds that have, caught the sunlight in just a particular way that it's like creating this heavenly scene or something like that. And then it starts to really like you feel this joy and this bliss start to awaken within you. And it's so awesome. Like actually being more connected to these kind of things starts to awaken something that is it's always going to be that way. And like that's what's cool about how P guides beings to start to bring back a natural way of life, because like he says, the Vedic Sanatan Dharma, that means like the eternal law that is built into existence itself. That's kind of a little translation of that. So it's the things that are shown and taught and guided for us to do in that. He says it's true not only yesterday, not only today, not only tomorrow, not only in this realm. It's actually true in higher realms too. It's true in lower realms. So it's like there is a path, there is a way that we can start to cultivate what is really special, and that too doesn't make us like just like a quality less being. It doesn't make us like, just mindless kind of thing. It actually starts to increase our individuality. It starts to make us more of who we are and less like just, mindless beings who are, walking into a spiral of pain or whatever, that's
Yeah, sometimes you even see the deadness in people's eyes, like,
yeah.
or you don't see their eyes because they have shades and
Mm-hmm.
they want to hide or something. I don't know what's.
Yeah.
I never understood those sunglasses thing really, but
Yeah.
if you want to wear them, you're only hurting yourself. So they will reward you and give you very fancy ones on the market.
Oh yeah, there's all sorts of
Like all these things, as long as you hurt yourself, like you said, the wicked in this world are the one that gets rewarded. So they are special, the wicked. So
yeah,
they keeps
yeah.
being rewarded, but eventually the balance is gonna tip, and it's starting to tip because I think there is a massive awakening happening, definitely.
Mm-hmm.
Now, is it gonna happen overnight? Probably not. Like you didn't wake up to this whole reality overnight. Probably took you many years yourself
Yeah. Mm-hmm.
to really awaken and to really realize the gift of life that you have, because that's a bit the realization also that you have to do, is that you are alive. Life is to live. What
Mm-hmm.
is life? You're not living. If you're on the side of evil and evil ways and stuff, and sometimes evil is very subtle. Like you
Right.
think you're being good, you're doing good, but it's a lot rooted in evil ways.
Yeah.
evil rituals and stuff, just like birthdays. We think we're celebrating something great. It's
Right.
linked to evil rituals and stuff. So
Mhm.
once you start looking at all this with a different perspective, that's where you start awaken and feel the magic and feel the gift of life that you have and that you should live your life. And living is not in fear. Fear is evil. We should be all like so open to connecting with others, to
Mhm.
linking up with others. And that's why I'm so forward all the time to link up with artists. And that's why I've developed all that music. It's just by networking. We should, that's our net worth together is the network that we not develop. We don't develop a network. We're uh, pushing that network or something, but I'm
Right,
not
right.
going to say the word
Yeah.
develop. Doesn't make sense.
Right, yeah.
I don't like that word. And
Okay.
everybody's, it comes out of their mouth and, oh, yeah, we're going to develop. That's what you're saying. And that's how they get you. So the moment you stop that programming also of words within you now, you're starting to feel a little bit more special with the words. Like you don't want to like take that ABC 1 2 3 to an extreme in your head, but you
Right.
start to feel the words a bit more. So anyway,
Yeah.
I don't know where I was going with that, but I ended up on the words and stuff because that's what's in our head after all.
And well, one more point too. Like
Yeah,
I love how P brings it to this point that's just like way out of the box. Like he says, okay, in terms of what is really special, can they even inhabit the heart of their own son?
yeah.
It's like, what? Wait, what are you talking about? Because that's
It's like
not even a concept.
glitchy.
That's not even a concept that's in like people's consciousness at all. That like you can actually connect with these celestials in that kind of way. Actually, and then he brings it down to this point that actually developing your soul through penance and devotion to divine, that is how you start to become special. You start to become a vessel that's willing to do the work to be of service to divine. And like we were saying, you start with your body and then you build from there, and you become a being who can do works for divine. And that's loving yourself, that's loving divine, that's loving everyone, is wanting the best for all.
This world wants you to feel small, and insignificant. They don't
Right.
want you to feel big and in presence of your whole power and stuff and walking with Jesus, whatever you want to say it. They don't want that. They don't want that. They want you to feel small, insignificant, and depressed, and or keep hurting yourself and day and night. And
Hmm.
so like you said, you want to feel a bit. The care for the self has to be there. That's the
Yeah.
starting point of connecting or linking up with higher and divine.
Hmm. Yeah.
Yeah,
Yeah.
yeah,
Exactly.
like that. I'm fed up being con, and I'm fed up of all that. I have to
Right.
change the script in my head.
Yeah.
That's what I'm trying to do now. But I'm not saying everyone should do it, but I am done with those words. So
Totally.
trying to change the script here
Hmm.
sometimes. So, but it's hard. It's hard because that's what also they have programmed us with, and that we don't give attention to is the words we speak. So
Yeah. It's very true.
I will make this my personal duty for the rest of my days on earth to think
Yes.
before I speak.
Yeah.
I will try
That's great.
the
That's a great
best
step.
I can.
Yeah.
Next, le travailleur social, social worker.
Yes.
Think in
Social worker.
English. I'll let you go on with this unless you want to add something special to the special.
No, yeah, that's special is just a really great. Yeah, it's
Yeah.
great. I love how P ends it there. So
Yeah.
yeah, we'll move to the next.
Social worker.
The social worker. Those who can't help themselves are always found distracting themselves, trying or pretending to help others. Whenever they confront something better than oneself, the social worker inside gets edgy. Service, by their definition, can only be done for the inferior, not the superior. No chance of ever serving divine on this path, because divine will always be superior. Service of the higher is the path of evolution and bliss. Service of the highest is perfection.
Le travailleur social en français. Ceux qui ne peuvent même pas s'aider eux-mêmes sont toujours à se distraire, à essayer ou prétendre aider les autres. Quand ils sont confrontés à quelque chose de mieux qu'eux, le travailleur social intérieur devient nerveux. Le service, selon leur définition, ne peut être fait seulement pour l'inférieur, pas le supérieur. Aucune chance de servir le divin par cette voie-là, car le divin sera toujours supérieur. Le service du supérieur est la voie vers l'évolution et la béatitude. Le service du plus élevé est la perfection. Social worker, yeah, there's a lot of beings here like that they will transform into social workers as soon as you bring something that challenge their paradigm, or now they have all the answers and they know it all, and when in reality that's the starting point also of letting go of your social worker state of mind, is to admit that you don't know. Like also the social worker thing, the other day I was talking with Kim, and many of times when you're stuck here in that matrix, that state of mind, that default state of mind, you will seek help towards psychologists, social workers, whatever.
Right.
But those have not even helped themselves very often. Like they're just stuck in the programming like all the others. I'm not saying there's no competent therapists out there that cannot help some people. Yes, there is. But I'm saying they haven't touched the trauma part, either collective or personal. So very often they operate from a default state. That's what I'm saying.
Yes.
Always, all those professions, all doctors and all that stuff operate from a default state. Like not all, but most. Like in the mainstream and stuff, there is some people that are awake and aware. I'm not the only one, and even me, I'm in the process. Don't count me as fully awake and aware. I'm in the process of waking myself up. So to let go of that social worker state of mind, definitely. You're not here. You're not qualified to judge anyone. You should judge your own path. You should not trying to impress anyone, but impress yourself, your own self. It's always, you should it's a mirror verse. That's how you should approach your life, as a mirror verse. Look in the mirror. That's what you're going to see in life. If you cannot see it in the mirror, how do you expect it to see it? If you can't see love in the mirror, how are you going to see it outside? Like, so mirror verse, and that's it. Stop judging others and impersonating a social worker every time that someone brings you something of a higher caliber, divine stuff or divine knowledge. Then, because often that's why also we don't open up towards each other at one point, because we know how deeply programmed people are. Like, I just don't go out on the street with a camera and talk to people, hey, about whatever topic, the moon landing or whatever you want to bring them to kind of grasp the idea that the world's a lie, that they live a lie, that the whole shebang is like filled with deception. But now it's because you probably also see, it's probably the reflection you see in the mirror at that time in your default state, like a lot of turmoil inside, a lot of depression, and then you go out in the world, and that's what we experience collectively, more and more of that, until we decide to stop that pattern collectively and wake up. That's all. Change your perspective on social workers, on everything, and just wake up, and change your perspective on love, on others, like on yourself first, on yourself.
Right.
So yeah, anyway. So yeah, I don't intend to become a social worker to anyone anytime soon. So Frank, give me your opinion about
Yeah, yeah. This is a good point that P makes here, that we have to, like P says, and we'll bring it back to this point because it's always relevant. Truth is always worth repeating. That's why mantric repetitions are emphasized in the Vedic approach to evolution. But this point of working on yourself first, right? Because it says those who can't help themselves are always found distracting, trying to help others. And so we see this happening a lot. And the way that the government system is set up, there's very much, this system of processing, people who are given, and this isn't to, look down on anyone who gets assistance from these government programs, because I have in the past, and things like that. But we just got to think about actually to start becoming more independent and to start empowering ourselves. Really, we have to start getting in touch with what the reality and what's real. So taking care of the body, that is our first responsibility, right? We have to feed ourselves, right? We have to give ourselves the right kind of fuel so our machine, our system is running properly. We have to, put ourselves in environments that are supportive for our well-being, and not environments that are going to be very detrimental. I mean, there is like the nature of time and this particular realm and everything in itself. Things do degrade in time, but we can implement things that are going to be more self-preserving, eating foods or wearing kind of clothes, or putting ourselves in, a living space that is going to be conducive, or whatever kind of word we want to say, that is going to be supportive to life and well-being, and reducing the amount of things like the type of lights that could be more harmful, or eating foods that are going to just make your system not function as well, and be more, in the Vedic point of view, they call it tamasic, things that are going to slow the inertia, and things that are going to basically make you more dull and more we're wanting to sharpen the blade of our intellect and our consciousness. We're not wanting to dull ourselves down. We want to be on point. We want to be, have that razor edge of like approaching life in a way that we're going to be able to, act appropriately and act responsibly and things like that. So
cut through the bullshit.
Exactly. Yeah, we have to have that that one pointedness, to continue to evolve and focus on divine. But I love this point here that P's saying service of the higher is the path to evolution and bliss. Service of the highest is perfection. So that is going to be a process where, and this does also bring in a very a comforting point that, like everyone else's life and whatever is going on with them is not our responsibility. It's not our job to fix everybody else, or like give every bum on the street $1 or whatever. Like we can be kind to people, and we can share a positive energy with everyone, but we don't have to feel compelled to go and like save everyone or whatever, because we know through like the Vedic point of view, and just that truth is that each being can only control their own actions. We can't control anyone else's actions. So if beings want to put themselves in a better situation, if they want to rise up, they have to start doing that work themselves, So we can give them a lending hand by being good to ourselves and being that example, and then sharing the positivity, what you're doing or other people are doing, like creating something positive that's going to share a message of hope, a message of guidance, a message of truth with others. And like P is a wonderful example of doing that. And just coming back to the things that are that are really special and worth celebrating. You know, celebrating nature and celebrating the elements and celebrating this divine experience here and this opportunity to be able to rise. That is, you know, the beginning steps of how we can be of service. And you know, it's interesting too, because this P-log didn't make one reflect on these systems that process beings in different ways, and they need to get from here to there, because you know, we have like the Social Security office, or like the whatever those kind of programs are, where beings, they'll go there and you have to sit in line and then fill out the form and do all this kind of stuff, and then you get your whatever it is that you went there to get. So the processing procedure isn't bad in itself, because that also happens according to the Vedic thing, and I think in other spiritual perspectives, the processing of beings from one place to another does happen, because there's like, you know, even after we exit this body, according to the Vedic point of view, you know, we will be processed, and okay, this is what your life has been. This is where your consciousness is now. So now you're going to go to this place, either come back to Earth and, you know, do a life again, and you'll have these situations and circumstances to be born into, depending on what your life was like. Or maybe you'll be eligible for higher realms, or if you want, you have the choice. And if you're eligible, you can go to different realms that are maybe lower, that will give you this different kind of experience. So Yamraj is like the Lord of Death. He's and he has all these workers, the Yamadutes, and he has Chitragupta, who is like basically keeping the records of everything that's happened in your life. And based on all of that information, you will be sorted and you'll be processed and sent to your next experience.
Yeah, because even when you look at the stars properly with your own eyes, then not through some CGI nonsense,
Right.
you will realize they are light beings up there.
Yes.
It moves and it flickers light, and like there's no face, no arms and legs,
Right.
but they move and they have light. So it's probably like what you have inside you. So you probably can reach that upper realm. Me, when I observe it, yes, everyone can, it's not something we invent here that come from a book. We can all look up at the sky and see
Right.
stars.
Yes.
It's something we can all observe. So what is it? Not without taking what they told you. So look at it and you will realize it's light beings up there. So probably if you bring enough light inside you light up that sun of you inside, like we were talking before. Get in touch with that sunlight within you.
Yeah.
Probably you can end up closer to the sun. You know, the goal is maybe to get closer to the sun. So by getting closer to the sun, it's up around the stars. Right. The stars are closer to the sun than probably me here on Earth.
Yeah.
So yeah, that's it. That's how I see it. That's my perspective of the stars up there and the big realm. Yeah, the big game up there. Because I and imagine the feelings also to be who you are now, because the essence of who you are is who you are. So your thoughts, and you're not the body. You're much more than the body. Like I'm capable to think and project thoughts, and like I have a magnetic field and all that stuff. So imagine that, but up there, like in that form, like you're suspended into like nothingness or something.
Yeah.
I don't know how it works. Maybe in the water. Like it's so mysterious, that upper realm. So imagine you are you, but you are up there. Like often I project myself ending up there. I tell myself I'm gonna shoot that soul up in the sky, and I'm gonna end up with the stars, and like that's my goal of doing all this. Is not to come back here on another experience as a snake or a pig or whatever I can end up with the experience. Like I want to end up there. I want to look at the earth from up there. Maybe that's where you get the real wisdom. Here on earth, we get certain wisdom, human wisdom, but maybe from above, if you deserve to end up there, maybe now it's the real fucking game, the real wisdom up there. Like, that's what I feel like. I feel like here I'm limited in knowledge and stuff.
Oh, yeah.
Because of confusion. Like, it's
That's
a land of confusion, and there's a lot of deceivers and a system in place and like all kinds of nonsense. But up there, it doesn't exist, that stuff. Like, you could probably tap into some mega freaking wisdom out there. There. So that's why we should all be very...
We want to shoot for that. And
you want to shoot for the stars, man. Come on.
Exactly.
What are we here? What am I here for if I'm not here to shoot for the stars?
Yes.
And I don't care. If I don't land among the stars, I'll probably land further or something. So
right.
I prefer to shoot for the stars anyway than to just be here and do nothing with my life. And I want to put that soul on fire.
We don't want to settle for mediocrity. We want to, aim for
I want the top of the mountain. I want to have the view from the top. I'm fed up of having a view from the middle of the mountain. Right. I want to see from the top. I'm going over the top, bro. Fuck that shit. I'm going over the top. I'm done. Yes. Anyway, next will be pathetic. Pathetic. Yes. I think it's the same in English. Pathetic. Us, we put a QUE in English, it's a C.
Yes. Pathetic. Whenever confronted with something higher than oneself, it is easy to realize the patheticness of one's own being. That is not a bad thing in itself, as it creates room for humility. But the really pathetic part is the majority's response to this feeling. They immediately look for something more pathetic than themselves and keep company with it to feel good about themselves. The door firmly shut on evolution. Devolution, here we come. It's all worth it as long as the ego is safe.
Yep. Pathétique en français. Pathétique. It's really freaking pathétique. Yeah. Quand confronté avec quelque chose de supérieur à soi, c'est facile de se rendre compte de l'état pathétique de son être. Ce n'est pas une mauvaise chose en soi, comme cela crée de l'espace pour l'humilité. Mais la partie vraiment pathétique, c'est la réponse que la majorité, qu'a la majorité à ce sentiment. Ils cherchent immédiatement quelque chose de plus pathétique qu'eux. Et ils y tiennent compagnie pour se sentir bien par rapport à eux-mêmes. La porte fermement fermée à l'évolution. D'évolution, nous voilà, ça vaut le coup du moment que l'ego est sauvé. Yeah, as long as the ego is saved, Mr. Know-it-all is fine out there. His ego will be saved and there's nothing to worry about. Instead of saving your ego, why don't you focus on saving your own self, your own light, your own soul, your own essence? Never mind the freaking ego. Shut that thing down. Keep it thin. Keep it thin because you're probably going to need it in the muggle world sometime. But just keep it thin and keep it flexible. Be open. Be, receptive. Be lovey. Be kind. Be everything that is good in body, everything that is good on this earth. Just be you. Because you are good deep down in the inside. We're all good. We're all fantastic. We're all special. We can all be special. We can all be all this, Jesus, and whatever the name you want to bring on the table. It can be you. Luke Skywalker, whatever. Like, you can walk the sky, probably, if you get close to the divine essence enough. But you got to leave that pathetic path that you're on because that's why it's called... The word path is pathetic because our path is very hectic and pathetic unless we wake up and change the perspective that we have on our life and life in general and beings around us and animals, everything.
Right.
So you will remain in those. And what's the most pathetic, like he said, is that to keep that patheticness going, they will
Mhm.
reach other being as pathetic as themselves, just
Right.
to comfort themselves. You know, in the ride of riding the wave of time on a pathetic path, and so that they're happy and nothing disturbed them. But I
Right.
think it's a great way also, like he said, to reach humility. If you can recognize how pathetic your path is,
Hmm.
that's your savior. That's
Yeah.
your savior. You become your own savior right there.
Right.
There's no Jesus in the sky that will come and save you. You are Jesus that will save yourself. So
Right.
I don't know how to put it better than this,
uh,
but nothing will come from falling from the sky. So it has to be you. It's you.
yeah.
It's you against you. It's not you against the world. It's you against you. So
Right.
beat that you that keeps you down, and rise up. Rise up to the occasion. You are alive. You know,
Yeah.
life is to live, like Tampane said in his song. What is life? Life is to live. You know, be
Right.
kind, be
Mhm.
loving, and all those emotion cannot come from a default state of mind. You know,
Right.
like PT said, the confusion has to go. There can be
Mhm.
no confusion.
Yeah.
Like, he said it all in our last talk, and
Hmm.
I really enjoyed every time I sit with P, as much as you, as anyone, man.
Yeah.
Anyone, I'm learning, I'm growing, and it's fantastic. Yeah, it's fantastic.
Yeah. It's lovely. Isn't it?
Yeah, it's not pathetic, it's fantastic. I think
Right.
probably fantastic should be an opposite of pathetic. Yeah. But
Hmm.
yeah, Frank, give me your opinion on the pathetic path and the ego that is saved along the way.
Yeah. Yeah. Exactly. This pathetic epilogue. Yeah. I mean, we see this happening. Um, Maybe we can notice it in ourselves in the past, or we can watch other people do this thing where they will be maybe aware of the problems that they have, right? But rather than try to work on them and sort them out, they'll just find other people who have those same problems or worse problems. And like P says, make company with them. And but see, it's just problematic because like P says, a negative plus a negative does not lead to a positive. You know, you're going to have more problems. You're going to have more issues, you know. Um, so what's great, you know, we can it doesn't mean that you can't like congregate with other people, but it has to be in the spirit of self um I don't want to use the word development like you said, but self improvement, you know. Like
Oh,
we
that's
have
good.
to
Improvement.
unite,
I like
we have
that.
to unite in wanting to rise, you know, because we all have problems. That's why we're here. We wouldn't be born to the earth plane if we had heaven level you know, expertise or whatever. So
Everyone face their own pain. Everyone face their own problems. Even Timpani said it in a song too.
mhm. Yes. So Earth, part of its purpose is a platform where we can work on improving ourselves, work on uh, you know, starting to get the qualities that we need to be approved to be in higher realms, you know, because like P says, they don't just let in any riffraff up there. You have to have worked on yourself, and you have to um, be in a state where you're not going to cause a ruckus and cause problems, because you are going to be sorted. You're going to know what to do. You're going to know like how to take care of yourself. And it's not anything that's really complex, but it is something that it takes work. You have to show that you can do that in a continuous fashion. So, yeah, this thing, I do like what P says, and that you pointed out, that realizing your own faults, um, it creates room for humility. It creates room for realizing, hey, I need, I need help. I need to change. I need to work to improve myself. But the thing that they've done today in a lot of different movements or like ways that people are shown to see themselves, they say, oh, there's no room for shame. Like you shouldn't feel ashamed about yourself or about
The
your past.
shameless society.
Exactly. And it's like, no, like actually shame is something, it has a purpose because it can show you that, okay, like I'm not proud of like how I've been ignorant in the past, and so I want to transform that darkness and make room for more light, more truth, more awareness to exist in my life, and so I can see how I've had ignorance or how I've done shameful things in the past, and that is a motivation to say I don't want to be like that anymore. I don't want to mistreat my body. I don't want to be an influence for other people to also misuse their time or their body or their words or anything like that. I want to be for my own self aligning with divine, and I want that for other people too. So I want to get that vibe going up. So
chips and French fries has to leave the body at one point.
Right.
Say it as it is, because
Right,
we're all addicted on freaking potatoes and French fries, and
yes.
you have to let go of that stuff. Especially as you get older, you realize it's not supportive. You don't feel good with that stuff. Maybe when you're young, you camouflage it with other substance to feel good.
Right.
But when you get older, you realize also you must take care of yourself. So for sure, you have to be at maybe a certain aging process. But the word age also, it's just an index. It's not so much a number. It's an index of how much you have the glycation process inside.
Right.
So that reflects only how much you have cooked yourself from the inside with content, with all the substance you eat and stuff.
Right.
So someone, that's it, that might look younger than other at a certain point in life, it's only because they take better care of themselves. That's all. If you trash your body all your life and you expect it to feel good at 50, 60, and to start hitting the gym and it's got to start at one point, yes, definitely. But I encourage to start this at a younger age. It's easier, but it's never too late. Never too late to take care of yourself, and to the body has potential to heal, but you have to know what you're healing. You gotta go into a process of meditation, introspection, and bring that to your own self and start projecting out in the world and seeking stuff outside. Seek on all the answers are within you, within me, within you. What come from a different place? No, all come from Earth, and the Earth also. When we look around, everything is natural. And why do we feel so good on Earth? Like we feel so. Like I feel so at home sometimes. Wherever I roam, I'm home. It's like wherever I go, I feel at home. And that's the feeling I think I wanted to really bring even more into my life, is to feel at home and to feel connect. Because when I say feel at home, also because of the Earth is an anagram for art. So maybe because I'm finding my art more and more, that I feel at home more and more on Earth also.
Right.
Like, I don't know where I'm going with this, but it's been an hour and 8 minutes, Frank. If you want to add something else, go ahead. I think I'm there.
Well, I'm just really grateful once again for all the light and the awareness that P helps us to, take in and become aware of our own selves. It's a process.
Yes.
We're all we have to start wherever we're at and just do that work. It's really fun, So, this is the season right now for us to get in the garden, go out, touch the earth, and then enjoy the things that are
enjoy
out
the
there.
outside, go outside, enjoy the outside in nature, ground yourself, hug some trees. I do it all the time. I stop on the bike path and ground and hug trees, and I don't like that. Maybe that's why I feel so much at home. Like I said, maybe because of the rituals that I have to be in nature and to be feel nature, not connected, but feeling it.
Right.
Like, and feeling the stars and all the magic of this earth. Anyway, it's only in this body, in flesh, and in this experience that I can talk about it. So yes, for sure, I'm gonna give you my perspective on life and my experience here on Earth. Why not? I'm alive, and you too, and we should all rejoice to for that gift of life. Just that, just to be here and healthy enough to speak and to have that clarity. And I give thanks so much for this. I give thanks for the light, for the love, for the everything in my life that is good and sustain me and keep me alive, and especially the reggae music. Boom! So we're gonna make more music, definitely. I'm always into music projects. Music is my occupation and it's my life. So definitely, I'm a music man. So you will see a lot more. And Tampani is really. He impressed me, that guy. The last song he did, the one for the ladies, is Searching for Love. Brought me to tears. I can imagine him in the street in Jamaica talking to that lady. Like he has this sense of, and when I told him that, I said, "Hey, bro, you brought me to tears with that song." He said, "You know what?" He replied, very simple, "Bro, the power of music."
Right.
Music is powerful, very powerful. So, Frank, much love every time.
Yes, likewise.
Stay up and in with life. No more down and out. That period of us is over. Now it's up and in with life and rise and shine. We rise and shine like the sun.
We'll be here for another one.
Oh, definitely. I'm pretty sure the divine will keep us on track, undistracted, to be here again next Moon Day.
Yes.
Boom. We're out. See ya.